back to Righteous Rock Television. I'm your host, TJ Rocker. Well, here we are at Twin Blade Studio with Mr. Bill Menchen. How are you?
It's hard to tell. Too bad.
Appreciate you let us coming out to your studio today to do an episode of Righteous Rock TV. And, you know, we're going to have you guest host, you know, with me today. That's...
Well, hey, you know, $10 is $10, so I'll take it.
By the way, I do have $10 for you too, but that's another story. Just a little bit about the first video we're going to be seeing here. Tell everyone a little bit about the days back in California when you used to do the Metal Midnights and such.
Well, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, we couldn't stop doing it. We had to do it for several reasons. And those are back in the days of the US festivals. And that's why Keith Miles came up with the His Festival as sort of an answer. You know, he didn't have any money really to speak of, just him and a few friends pulled together a few $100 here and there and started doing it. And, you know, it kind of became a thing there for a while. It never became cornerstone of the West Coast, but it was pretty cool, and it was all metal. We're doing Metal Midnights and His Festivals, and, you know, they were tons of work. You would absolutely be beat to death if you were playing the show and trying to run it. It was crazy. But, you know, the next day, you know, when about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, when we all woke up, we'd kind of get together and, hey, well, what'd you think, man? Yeah, it was pretty cool, you know, this happened, that happened. We'd swap the stories about it, you know, and it was a lot of fun, you know, and it's too bad we didn't have the internet back then, because we would have got a lot more instantaneous feedback of what people really thought, and it would have been a lot funner and cooler, but, you know, it still was pretty cool. And it was a lot of fun, you know, and you know, the shows weren't perfect. We didn't have big money and stuff, but there was a lot of heart and sweat in it. And just every year there'd be characters, you know, something would happen on stage, or you just never know what. Something happened every time, and maybe that's why we had to keep doing it, you know, just to see what's going to happen next. But you know, and then God would always show up too and do stuff. There would always be nice praise reports of things that had happened and stuff that the Lord did through people's lives, and we had some pretty cool stories, you know, out of it, and you know, looking back on it, I'm glad I was a part of it. It was fun.
Oh, for sure. You know, you had quite a bit of bands that, you know, I still play on the show. You know, Ransom, Eternal Right, Deliverance. You know, just a multitude of bands that, you know, really their music still is still relevant today. You know, how 25 years later?
Good music's good music. Even if it sounds dated, it's still good or it isn't good. And bad music doesn't get any better, and unfortunately, but the good thing is, good music doesn't get any worse. You know, it's still fun to listen to later.
For sure, thanks. And then that's what you're going to see right now. Final acts, the song "Slave." So enjoy, and we'll be back after this.
Yeah! We'll go anywhere you want us to go. We'll play brave. We'll go anywhere and fight to the end. We won't be ashamed of your word. We know your truth has set us free. We believe in all that we've heard. Jesus Christ, we're slaves. We're your slaves. Slaves. We're your slaves. I can't hear ya. Slaves. We're your slaves. Come on, louder. Slaves. We're your slaves. Yeah! Slaves. We're your slaves. Slaves. We're your slaves.
Welcome back to Righteous Rock TV. I'm your host, TJ Rocker. We play the only rock that's right. Here we are back with our co-host this time around, Bill Menchen, talking about all the videos from the past to the present that he's been involved with. A little bit about Rev 7. I know that you started to work with Moto Metal Kitty Metal Works. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, that's from a different era, though. That's recently.
Yeah.
Rev 7 started in 1990.
Correct. And you did a Rev 7 video with her, right? For Hand of God.
Well, that's way after the fact. That's 20 years later.
Yeah, we're skipping around a bit, but yeah.
But fast forward there. You got the remote here.
We're just jumping through a couple decades.
Time travelers here, we're jumping all over the place.
What I mean, those bands, they just, came and gone. People, like you always say, the summer '69.
I did reference that song before because, things, don't turn out. So-and-so gets married, moves away and everything, and, bands eventually fall apart usually. And I guess the good thing about not being famous, if there is anything good about it, and not making a lot of money, is if you're still doing it, you're doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it because if you're a Christian and you're called to do it, you're doing it because you're called to do it. Or, you just love doing it, or a combination of both. And for me, it's always been both. I've always loved the music, and I have to make Jesus known as much as I can on this earth. And, about the only thing I can really do that with is music, and I love playing music, and I still continue to play it, from time to time. And, I'm still making an album or two here or there. And Rev 7 was one of those times. We had just, I'd been in Final Acts for a couple of years, and was kind of getting an idea to go back to singing again, not because I really want to, but because I had a concept, of something else I wanted to do, and I teamed up with my cousin Bruce, and actually in that band, all the concerts that we played, just for logistics and making the show was a lot smoother. I never played the guitar on stage at all. And Tim Balmantier was on drums, Ray Kilsdonk was on bass, and Bruce played all the guitars, and I just did the lead singer role. I wasn't really comfortable with it, but I just thought, let's try this. I haven't done this. This is one thing I haven't done. So we did it, and we made an album in 1991. And I think later that year, when Heaven's Metal came out, we were voted 4th best unsigned band or something. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And right about that time, I moved to Nevada, about a year or so later in 1993. And it took, again, it wasn't on the internet yet, and it took that news a while to get to me. And when I just moved to town, I didn't know anybody here, and I was living here all alone. And that inspired me to make the second Rev 7 album, Hell and Back, probably because I probably titled it that way. It's probably a Freudian slip. I've been through a lot of tough times at that. I was going through one of those hard periods. And, so I kind of did it myself. In the original version, I actually sent the tape to Bruce back in California and just had him add his leads to it. And, that was kind of it. I sold some of those through Christian Demo Clearinghouse, and at the time, and just here and there. Didn't sell too many of them at all, and didn't have any help, didn't have a band, didn't have a label, didn't have nothing. And a few years later, you know, Keith Miles calls me and says, hey, you know, you want to try making another band? I'm like, well, I live out of state now, you know. It was kind of crazy, and so we built the band Titanic in '95, and fast forward to, you know, we only did that for a year or so. And it's funny how that band has such a long-running history, and it didn't even exist very long and do that much music. And but after that, I thought, well, what am I going to do now? And I was sitting around, you know, one night Bruce calls me up from his home in Arizona, and we're just talking about stuff. Hey, where are you recording? And I said, you know, I record in this studio. That. So where are you recording? He says, I just use a computer. And I was thinking of the computers that we had at work, just had a black screen with green writing on it. It was just text, and I'm thinking, how do you record on a computer? And I had no idea. This was 1998, and computers were starting to get usable for things like this. I said, well, you know, let me see how much I can buy a computer for. So I got into a Windows computer for a little under $1,000. And he came up to my house and downloaded the software, and I was like, whoa, hey, this is pretty cool, man. I can make music all day long for free. I don't have a studio, but I mean, I'm direct inputting things, and I immediately, within about 3 months, I had a whole album written, recorded, and it was the third Rev 7 album. And the very next year, in 1999, I made the fourth Rev 7 album, and the next thing you know, that band has, it really wasn't only a band for about a year at one point. And the next thing you know, a band that existed for very little time has a long history, it seems, and has 4 albums, you know. And so that's kind of the history of Rev 7.
The next video we're going to show, Hand of God, that, you know, you started work with these people at, you know, Moto Kitty Metalworks, yeah. I don't know why I get that wrong.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, but, you know, tell us a little bit about how that first video came about, how you met this person from your past, actually, right?
Yeah, it was actually somebody I knew in high school, and I met on the internet, and kind of got reacquainted, and come to find out that she edits, you know, sitcoms and TV shows and stuff in Hollywood, and it was like, yeah, you know, maybe we should get together sometime and do a video. I've been wanting to do something for fun, you know, she told me, and I was like, well, you know, this is what I do, and you know, she says, would you mind it if I made a video out of one of your tunes? And I'm like, well, no, I probably won't be that mad, you know, if you want to give me a video with killer, you know, Hollywood graphics for nothing. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't pay you anything, and so, you know, she's building up her, she really hasn't launched her website. Eventually it's going to be Moto-Kitty Metalworks, WRX.com. It's not launched yet, but she's going to put her portfolio. She's like an artist, aside from what she does professionally, and she's going to, you know, have her portfolio up there someday, and we'll include all the videos that she's done for me, and that's one reason why she's doing them, because, and she really is into what I'm doing. She thinks it's cool and likes the music and why I'm doing it. And so she started pitching in, and, you know, I need more people like that, you know, that bring a killer product to the table, you know. And
yeah, she's a cool lady. She was at the Righteous Rock Revival, and just a really cool lady, really just down to earth. And
so we hadn't seen each other in 33 years. She picks a place on the map, says, here, meet me out in the middle of the desert. It's about halfway to drive for you, halfway to drive for me. So we went out there. It was a dry lake. And it was, you know, as well as I know the desert from all my years of riding and racing, and just born and raised in the California desert, it was some, you know, bizarre off-the-wall place. She was just picking it off of maps, you know, off the internet. Hey, well, here's a place we can meet. It's not too far off the freeway. And we went out there and spent an afternoon together. Said hi first, you know, hadn't seen each other since 1978. And so we started. We just pulled out a couple of cameras, what they call a run and gun, or there's a couple of slang terms in the big business that they refer to this. They call it guerrilla filmmaking, because, you know, like a guerrilla, you're just grabbing your gear and just what you can carry. So for, you know, in Hollywood, that'd be like a joke. You know, you wouldn't do that, but that's what they call it. But the amazing thing is, in this modern time, because of how affordable you can get a full HD camcorder with a smoking good picture for just hundreds of dollars, that's really all you need. And like we've been saying, our motto has been, you know, we're making these videos on burgers and gas. I mean, it's really, that's what it, you know, and a few jump drives here and there. I mean, we're not really spending any money on these things, and some of the, you know, and me and her have talked about this a lot of times, about how every time that we go to shoot a video, something extraordinary happens where basically, for lack of a better phrase, God shows up somehow, and we get some incredible thing that happens, some freak incredible thing, where there's always just, I don't know, some aspect about it where we look at it and the next day we'll go, hey, isn't that weird how that turned out? You know, there's angels helping us here, helping us with these videos, because something just bizarre happens. You know, just like the Majesty on High shoot. We were getting ready to leave that canyon, and the train started coming up the valley, and we had our gear mostly put away, and I said, hey, wait a minute, there's a train coming, let's get it. And I was running down next to the tracks, putting my guitar strap on, backing up, and all I did was that the train walk thing, walking up next to it, because the train got there too quick, and it's going uphill. Some guys in the business told us that was like, if they would have done that in Hollywood to bring in a train into Studio City and everything, it would have cost like $65,000 a minute. And because they said the way, you know, I was coached on what to wear, things to do. They said the way this guy is dressed, the way you laid it over the music, is 65 grand a minute, and we got it for nothing. You know, I mean, stuff like this is happening in these videos. Every one of them we shoot, there's something amazing happens. So it's been quite of a reassociation with an old friend, and you know, we're having a lot of fun. And we're putting out some really good product, which makes it worthwhile, which makes us want to keep doing it for nothing, basically. I mean, I hope that people out there can really appreciate what you're getting, because, you know, you're getting HD video, and we don't have any money. You know, there's no tractor trailer full of people in gear that show up to these things. I mean, we have no money, so, and that's why, you know, most of the videos that you're playing, if they're any good, they're old Striper videos or something back in the day when, like, Striper had 150 grand to spend on a video. And I hope people can really appreciate, you know, these rare nuggets that you're getting. I mean, whether you like what I do or not or anything, I hope you can at least appreciate the great videos that we're getting here.
Yeah, they're few and far between. We were talking about that earlier. Saints got some pretty decent videos out, but, you know, that's a band that's been doing it for what, 30 plus years, 25, 30,
yeah.
30 years now, and it's been the same band.
Yeah, they've had a lot of record deals in the meantime. They've had money to work with from time to time. They were never rich, but they had some resources,
sure.
And you know.
And they're learning, just like we all are. We're always learning in production. I think obviously you've seen that here with Righteous Rock TV. You know, the growth from, you know, even our first interview at the studio to this one now, it leaps and bounds.
That was a really nice studio. You can't take anything away from
it.
And it's a bona fide TV station. Although they were missing a few things, like they didn't have like killer crunch overdrive PV stacks in their studio.
Yeah, really. That's definitely a little bit about these
bullet belts. They didn't have that stuff.
For sure.
We have this. This is a full facility studio here as well when it comes to those kind of things.
About these guitar cabs, what do you like about this particular line that PV did?
Way back in the day, well, the biggest thing is the preamp section. It just gives me that killer crunch that you hear on the albums. That is thanks to the engineer, whoever thought that circuitry up. It's absolutely incredible. It's just, it's better than some of the best modified amps that I've ever had, and it was stock. Unfortunately, I haven't made it for 20 years, so I got all these old amps, and they're hard to find. I'm always looking for another one, and you just can't find them. But mainly, the whole package is good. The speakers are voiced for this head, but I'm not that particular about speakers and tubes and stuff like that. You start talking to guitar players. Some guys like 6550s, but other guys will have a VL 344s. You know, I don't even care. I'm just looking for killer overdrive crunch. We'll get it delivered somehow. You know, but these are good packages, and you know, I just love the sound because you just, well, they're hard to, like I said, they're hard to find. If I can find, you can find one, you plug it in, and it's great.
When on the video we're going to show the Rev 7 Hand of God video in a minute. Who's riding the bike, and where was that in California?
Yeah, that's west of LA, up in the hills there somewhere, kind of west of Burbank, kind of as you're leaving the LA basin. I forgot exactly where it is out there, but that is the president of Moto Kitty Metalworks riding the bike. She's one of those rare moto girls. That's a sport bike, you know. That's like a fast bike.
Yeah.
You know, like a racer or something. And she's out there with a. Well, she saw my helmet camera videos from off-road stuff, and she said, "Hey, that's a pretty cool camera. What does that thing do?" And then when she found out it was HD, well, of course she's a big film person. Now her curiosity's really big, and she has to go get one.
Yeah.
I can put that on my street bike. So yeah, people are putting them on surfboards and everything else you can think of, and she started going out and doing that just for fun. And that was the first one where she just built her own video out of her writing and threw some Rev 7 music to it. And you know, then the next step was, hey, let's go out and shoot one of you playing your guitar. I said, well, hey, it's just me. Fine, we'll just figure out something for you to do. You know, we'll just get pictures of a bunch of shots of you standing around and picking your guitar or whatever. And you know, sometimes I look at these videos and I kind of, you know, feel I don't know if I want to say silly or something, but I'm sitting here going, here I is, same guy, star of every video. He doesn't have any accompaniments or anything, you know.
I think, yeah,
it's still a lot of fun. It's better than nothing, I guess. I'm having fun with it, and people have been looking at them. So
yeah, I think it's the same way for me too. Being the host, you know, right? I would love to have a co-host all the time, which is nice about this episode, having you here, where I can bounce things off of you and play the videos like this one, Rev 7 Hand to God. So we'll be back after this.
From Menchen, the 7th Power, Rev 7, Final Acts, Titanic, Redeemer, and anything else you can think of, and you're watching the Righteous Rock Show Nation, the only rock that's righteous.
Welcome back to Righteous Rock TV, where we play the only rock that's right. I'm your host, TJ Rocker, and this hour episode we have guest host Bill Menchen from the Seventh Power with us. Welcome again.
Thanks.
Yep. Now let's talk about what's going on. How, as of now, with the Seventh Power videos, We Sail, Majesty on High, and one that will be coming up. What was that like in the desert and doing all the different, lighting and dealing with the elements and?
It's been a learning process. Moto Kitty Metalworks is she's basically a video editor, not a professional videographer. She knows when she's got a good shot, she knows it. But she doesn't always know exactly how to get it. We both get ideas. A lot of times I'll say to her, hey, what if I stand over here by this boulder and you aim, we just throw stuff out there and she'll come up with suggestions. Sometimes the weather, depending on what time of year it is out there, the desert can be quite brutal. Shooting our latest video, it was hot on some of those days. And we were in Baker, California, which is appropriately named, because that's what it is. It's a baker out there. And we were shooting when the summer was just coming on. It was getting about 101 here in Vegas. And on some of those, in the upcoming video, you're going to see me standing on a long 2-lane highway that goes out across this valley. And by the time we got done with that shoot, it was about 110, 111. And it was starting. That's not the hottest I've ever been in, but I'm wearing a leather hat. And in some of the shots, she said, "No, you got to put your jacket back on." I'm just like, oh man. We got to be quick. We're going through the song one time, and I got to pull everything back off, jump under an umbrella, and grab some ice water, and just, and try to towel myself off so I'm not sweating like a pig when you push the record button again next time. So it's, a lot of it's just we're just run and gun. We're out there just getting ideas, looking at we're driving around in the desert. We do a certain amount of research on the internet, but then when we go out there, when you get on the ground, when you get the boots on the ground, you never know what you're going to see. And a lot of times, every time we shoot, there's always something. I was hoping that, I had an idea that we could get something, but we can't get it. There's always things that I can get, hoping to get, but there's always something that we can't get, but there's always some bonuses, something we weren't looking for, and we come across and we go, well, hey, look at this is neat here, And of course, we love sunsets, and sunrises are a really great light. I know in the movie industry, they refer to sunset as the golden hour, because there's about an hour in most places in the world where you can shoot and you just get this beautiful light. And we try to take advantage of that as well. And you'll see a lot of sunset shots in our videos because we're out there, and you see a sunset in every one of our videos because we're out there usually all day. We're off and on all day, and we're trying to get anything that's cool, and we're in a different place, in a different valley, and the sunset's beautiful, a little bit different than the last one we filmed, so you see a sunset in every video because it's there. Where, we don't have, like I said, we don't have any really resources or anything.
Yeah, it's natural CGI.
It is. It's just we're looking around in the desert, scratching our jaws. Well, what can we find next? Hey, that looks pretty
sunset,
cool.
Yeah.
We work, and all of a sudden the sun starts going on. Hey, you want to stay and get another sunset shot? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Maybe this one will be more magical than the last one, or a different color, or something. We're always in a different valley or a different state or someplace, and it's it's been a lot of fun making these videos. It's been a learning process, and we're always modifying our gear. Just a lot of stuff. I got a little monitor amp that I listen to. Went out there just building that and figuring out how to get something that I could retract 100-foot. 12. It's a 12-volt power amp, so I can run it off a car cigarette lighter. So I don't smoke, so I don't use the car cigarette lighter for anything else. So I might as well put my.
Yeah, not many cars even have cigarette lighters in them anymore.
Yeah, but they have a lot of those plugins because everybody's running everything.
Yeah, now
AC.
AC. Yeah, those AC plugins are everywhere.
They look like cigarette lighters, but they don't have the lighter in.
No.
They just have a plug in it. They just block it off because everybody's. It's totally handy, but. Yeah, it's a lot of fun shooting these videos, and sometimes we're having a ball out there, but sometimes it even as much fun as it is, we don't have We don't have a producer or any of those kinds of people riding on us, so the business aspect of it isn't heavy. But you know what? Even so, in every one of these videos, there's at least a point where for a couple hours, it's like work and it's not that much fun.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody telling us what to do, and there's no deadlines, and there's no budgets or nothing. There's no business pressure, but I tell you, some of these days get hot. I've been walking all over the place, climbing on boulders, and I get physically tired.
And cold too, right? You were saying there's a temperature shift that is unbelievable, in the desert.
Part of the Over and Out, we filmed that actually we had to have a second session a few weeks later, and it was getting into November, and we wanted to do a sunrise off of this dry lake in Nevada here, out by state line. And there was one point, it was about 45 when I left my house, but we got down to this dry lake, and I don't know if it's the water that's in the lake or what it is, but when we pulled up there and drove out onto the dry lake, the temperature in my truck said it was 28 degrees. And I'm like, that thing can't be right. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, this temperature, this thermometer in my truck has always been pretty on. And as the sun started to come up, the funny thing, it started getting colder, and it dropped down to 26. And I got outside, and I was out there for a second, and my hands started to get numb. I was only outside for about a minute and a half or two, and I jumped back in, and I told Gina, I said, I think it's 26. And there's one shot on that lake where you see me playing the guitar. I played through that song one time, and I can't tell you how excruciatingly painful. I'm getting older, and I have bad circulation now, and my hands get numb, and I have arthritis and tendonitis. I mean, absolutely excruciating pain just to get through just pushing on the strings. It was absolutely miserable. And as soon as we got to the end of the song, I just laid the guitar against the amp, jumped in the truck. We had the truck sitting there running the whole time with the heater on because we needed to keep jumping back in it. So we've been in 111 degrees, sweating like dogs. We've frozen to death. It's unbelievable, It's just, but it's been an adventure. So I guess when we see the final product come out, we're really satisfied, and then we get a sense of accomplishment because we're thinking of all the miles we drove and and everything, and we're doing it just because it's fun. And I'm really trying to do anything I can. It's to borrow somebody else's catchphrase. We're into knowing God and making Him known, and it's just another thing that I can do. I'm trying to do everything I can. I'm only one man, and I don't have much, but and I don't have any regrets either. I mean, I've got tons of regrets in life, but all the things that I've given up to do this, it doesn't even. I don't think twice about it. I mean, I groan and moan about it from time to time, like everybody probably does, but every once in a while I step back and look at what I've done and everything, and I kind of ask myself, well, what else would I have done? I would have just lived an average life like all the normal, well-adjusted people out there live.
Yeah.
Normal lives. And I haven't lived a normal life, not in a bad sense, in kind of a good sense.
Over and Out, Rev 7, right?
Yep.
So that's what we'll play now, Rev 7, Over and Out, and we'll go right into the 7th Power, Majesty on High, and We Sail. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up with the 7th Power, and a little bit about what what we plan on doing more with Bill down the road. Thanks for watching.
I just realized what we're missing. I need a set of guns, like cowboy guns, even cap guns.
Receive him. Do you want to know him? Can I tell you about him? Won his victory, the finest hour. Cloud received him out of sight. All things held by the word of his power. He sat down with majesty on high. Open your heart to him. Give all up to him. You'll really live in him. Forever you'll be with him. Won his victory, the finest hour. Cloud received him out of sight. All things held by the word of his power. He sat down with majesty on high. You're complete in him. Future built up in him. And risen with him. So walk in him. Won his victory, the finest hour. Cloud received him out of sight. All things held by the word of his power. He sat down with majesty on high. Every eye sees him. They wail because of him. He brings his reward with him. All power is given him.
Well, anyways, was that working? Did you get the things there?
Yeah,
The one on each side of me?
yeah.
Oh, cool. All right.
It's kind of funny because the weeds are obscuring your feet.
But that's okay. That's the first line of the song.
The weeds are obscuring your feet.
The weeds obscure my feet.
This is Bill Menchen of the Seventh Power. Just wanted to tell you, Jesus is Lord. He is risen and He lives. Make Him the Lord of your life. Well, you can. Well, you still got time. I did. Best thing I ever did.
sail. Every hour we sail. Feel the power. You're my hiding place. You preserve me from trouble. You surround me with songs of deliverance. We sail. You guide. We sail. You provide. We sail. You decide. We sail. Be glad in the Lord, rejoice. You righteous, are you upright in heart? We sail. You reveal. We sail. You are real. We sail. You can heal. I instruct and teach you in the way that you should go. I'll guide you with my eye. Right side is the man. Sing to him my new song. Play with the shout of joy. Make melody to him with an instrument with 6 strings.
Nice!
Can't use that jump at the end. It was poorly timed during the end of the song.
I disappeared on the other side of the rock, so we have 2 people of me disappearing behind that boulder.
I got it.
Oh, is this still rolling?
Welcome back to Righteous Rock TV. I'm your host, TJ Rocker. We play the only rock that's right. Still here at Twin Blade Studio with our co-host, Bill Menchen. Going to talk a little bit about now what's coming up with the 7th Power and the new video that is also coming up.
Well, thanks for having me, TJ. And, there's kind of a couple of firsts on this one here. One of the big things is we actually have Robert Sweet in the new video, so now it's not a one-man band, it's a 2-man band.
Oh,
And yeah, the membership is exponentially climbing here in this band.
double.
Now, Robert took a few minutes out from his really busy schedule. It's hard to get him, and we just had him once for a couple hours, and boom, that was it. But this is really going to be kind of cool, and I think it's going to be cool for him too. He's seen some of the roughs the other day of how it's coming out. He's real excited about it too, and he's a guy that's done a lot of big stuff.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's kind of excited looking at it, it tells me we got a good product. And people are going to see a side of Robert Sweet that they haven't seen. He's going to do some. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet. The yellow and black cat out of the bag. But yeah, you're going to see some different side of Robert. And of course, he's doing some drum antics, but just some of the what they call B-roll in the business. Just standing around and looking at things, not really playing music. But we cut a lot of that into the videos, and there's just a lot of cool. So you're gonna have to watch this video. You'll see, if you're a Robert Sweetie and or Stryper fan, you'll see Robert in a different light that you've seen before. And the guy's super creative, and every time he shows up to a photo session or a video shoot or anything, he always transforms the session really quickly. Just his presence and his ideas, he's again one of those, I hate to burn out some of the cliches like game changer, but he really is. I mean, the level of everything goes up. You see what he's doing, it starts to breed, you know, it starts to escalate, you start getting better ideas. It's just like those people, you hear about people on football teams and stuff like that. A certain guy comes into the huddle and everything gets elevated to another level, and that's what happens when he's around. You start thinking better, even, you know. So he's an amazing person to work with and a good friend. And I can't believe we've already known each other for 16 years. This just seems like yesterday. And you know, he's just a great guy. We've had some great times, some heart-to-heart talks. We've been through a lot of various different little things that we've been involved in, and a lot of fun. And it's kind of fun to actually have him be a part of it, since he's on all 4 7th Power albums. Actually get him in one of the videos. You know, and he didn't have a chance to rehearse either, really, even to relearn the tracks, because he had recorded the drums quite a while back. A lot of people don't know that they've been recorded a couple of years ago. And he didn't remember his own song because he just whammed out the drums and walked out of the studio. And so, you know, we had a little tricky pace and everything.
Was that for Human Sacrifice?
No. No. This is for the new video we have coming out is for the album Power and Glory.
Yeah.
And the song's going to be called God is Love. That's the song. The album's mostly done. I'm just doing a few touches on it now. And we're going to do something novel. We're going to actually do it right. We're going to release the video either at the same time the album comes out next month in October 2012 or slightly before. So you will be able to hear that new song hopefully a few weeks before the album comes out. And it'll be, I think it's going to be good. And of course, you know, the Power and Glory album started out as a 4-song EP that I uploaded in January of 2011, and I meant to get it completed like later that year, maybe by mid-year, make it a full-length album. And a lot of things happened, and we kind of got derailed. And somehow, that's another whole story, how I ended up doing the whole Eternal Power album first. And then this year, had to finally, about 3 or 4 months ago, finally got back on the Power and Glory and put it together. We had some tunes that were in the can for it. So now the album's finally going to come out, and going to have a good video with Robert Sweet, and it's a lot of fun. It's coming out good.
Yeah, the only other video he's in is Human Sacrifice, right? At the beginning?
Well, yeah, but that's before Motocated Metal.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's your production.
That wasn't even an HD camera. That was an old-fashioned camcorder just in the studio, and I just had it on a tripod, 2 different angles, and that was about it. He just stopped by the house one day and said, "Hey, can I get you on film real quick?" "Oh yeah, sure, whatever." You know, he goes in there and just bangs through it.
I think that's got something like 8,000 hits, so I mean it's been viewed.
Yeah, people are watching
it
because it's some of the people want to watch what I'm doing. I don't tour. I don't have a band, so it's about all they can do is watch my videos. And if there's anything out there with our faces on, I mean, people come look at it. They don't have anything else to look at.
And I actually that was the first time I actually contacted you because I saw the picture on Google of the album cover of Power and Glory, and I contacted you and I asked you for it, and you were like, "Yeah, when it's done." And that's how we started talking, and then I did a little pick video for Heavy Laden, the song Heavy Laden, because that's a song I really enjoy.
Well, that's not off of Power and Glory, though, now, Heavy Laden.
No, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to clarify that.
Yeah.
Now, the Power and Glory originally, when it was uploaded to iTunes and Amazon, you know, it was download only, and it still is, and it is going to become an album, you know, closing in on 2 years to get, you know, sometimes, you know, things just don't turn out how you plan in life, and
God's got time. You know, He's got the timing. It's in His time. I mean,
but it's heading down the home stretch, and
I mean, we have the 5-song EP of it that you gave us. We get all those little, you know, quirks and,
yeah, when
and
you're
perks.
in the business, when you're in the business, you get perks.
And like we've seen the video, we've seen the evolution or the growing of the new video. We saw it today, as a matter of fact, before we started the interview. And
Private screening.
Yeah, private screening actually, and it is killer. By the way, just to let everyone know out there, if you watch for that, are you gonna put that on the7thpower.com and BillMenchen.com?
Probably not going to put it on BillMenchen.com. Probably
Okay.
just the 7thpower.com.
7thpower.com.
And it'll be on YouTube. I'll have it posted on my Facebook page, and it'll be linked around.
Sure. Yep, and we'll put all those links up on the screen when we get to it. Well, that's again, appreciate you co-hosting this hour with me. It's always enjoyable. Like you said, you finally had a partner on your latest video. Well, this is the first time I've had somebody in a whole episode of Righteous Rock TV. So.
Well, we've done shows together before. It was almost like that, but they were more like interviews, I guess, than
Yeah, interviews.
So
Yeah, instead of a whole episode. Yeah, a whole hour
So
episode.
you're right. This is the first time that we're doing a whole show together.
Yep, and it's cool. I think that I'm excited to do this again. By the way, if there's anybody out there that's playing Christian rock and metal, contact us, and you know, we would love to do the same with you. You know, again, thanks for opening the doors of Twin Blade Studio and for Righteous Rock TV and the Righteous Rock Nation.
Well, you're certainly welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks.